The city of Morgan isn't in the news very often, as we all know there, and for the most part, the locals probably like living in a place that doesn't get a lot of attention.
Yes, right? No news is good news.
Yeah.
But when we got an email telling us that we needed to meet a barber who had been cutting hair since the Eisenhower administration, well, we just had to go and see for ourselves. News specialist Sheriff Park has his story.
So I'm going to be on TV, huh?
Everyone has a story.
Bruce, you want her just like usual?
Paul Dixon's been cutting hair since.
May of 1958.
Even longer than that.
A good haircut is still the best that men can look.
He was trimming locks during the Korean War.
When I got out of the military, I went to barber school in Salt Lake.
That's when he met his wife.
She was working in Salt Lake, and she rode back and forth with me.
But trips in his 55 Oldsmobile weren't free.
50 cents to ride back and forth and going to barber school. I never had any money.
They recently celebrated their 60th anniversary. And now, nearly 90, Paul's still putting his diploma to use.
A lot of people ask me, why don't you retire, Paul? And I said, why does that bother you?
He cut hair for a while at the Hotel Utah before moving home to Morgan.
Because this is where I grew up, know all the people here and everything.
Everyone has a story.
I could tell you some funny stories, but I don't want you to be putting them on television.
Sometimes you need a little help finding it.
That's what he does with the hair after he sorts it out.
What do you do with the hair?
I make a fabulous garden out of it.
A what?
A garden,
You put the hair in a garden?
yeah.
The good thing about being your own boss, you can close up shop for a few minutes to show off that fabulous garden.
Raspberries, pole beans on the other side of the corn.
And he's not kidding about the hair.
I've got the most beautiful soil you ever seen.
He grinds it up and mixes it with the dirt, providing nitrogen and nutrients.
Look at the size of the leaves and stuff on the cabbage.
And Paul's had a lot of time to cultivate his green thumb.
My business has really been hurt since this COVID-19, though.
His doors were shut for 6 weeks, and in a way, it was a blessing.
I'm sorry about your wife. I was out of town.
A little over 3 months ago, Paul's wife passed away.
If I had been cutting hair, she would have passed away probably on the kitchen floor because I caught her and got her down to the hospital.
She'd suffered a severe stroke, leaving Paul alone.
Left a void for me.
But when you've cut the hair of 5 generations of the people of Morgan, you're never really alone.
It means all the world that to me to think that people have so much love and concern for me. And it's terribly lonesome.
Everyone has a story.
Bruce, I think we got you fixed up.
Sometimes that story isn't about a man, but about the effect he's had on others.
I'm really grateful for the people in Morgan and for what they mean to me.
That was Sheriff Park reporting. And in case you're wondering, Paul does normally, he wears that mask when he's cutting hair, but he did take it off for our camera for our interview. And he also shared with us that his wife, again, passed away in April, but wanted to let people know that she's remembered for her apple pie and regularly canning vegetables from Paul's amazing garden.